Hey everybody, Major Train here with a slightly more serious video than my usual output of strung together nonsense. I've been taking the time to practice my sniper game a little bit recently, and I wanted to share a few of my thoughts about the class, a few tips and tricks I've learned in the process, his place in the current meta, and my opinion on his unlocks, like the Danger Shield and the Huntsman. Sniper's a mixed bag, really. A lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him, and sometimes a lot of people love him just a little bit too much. It's no surprise, really. Sniper has massive potential, and arguably the highest skill ceiling out of all the mercenaries. A good one can single-handedly deny an entire team. A bad one can cause a team to essentially be without a player for the duration of the match. Every shot you miss, you essentially don't exist for your team. You're not in the front lines most of the time, and, well, you shouldn't be. This isn't Call of Duty, you're not gonna no-scope headshot all the cheeky scrubs on the other team. No, unfortunately, you have to actually play sniper. Like, well, an actual sniper. This means staying as far away from the action as you can, while still being effective, providing cover fire for your team while they clean up around you. There's an absolutely massive amount of variables in this game, and a lot of them depend on what class is being played and where. So, let's talk about how to get good at sniper. What separates sniper from classes such as medic, or to a lesser degree heavy, is mechanical skill, which is how good you are at the game on a raw physical level, your ability to aim and move skillfully. This includes stuff like killing other snipers, aiming Jarate, and avoiding fire and projectiles. Now, to be fair, a lot of mechanical skill also comes with a degree of game sense, so it's difficult to separate entirely. In order to be a good sniper, there are a ton of things you have to do correctly. Just being in the right spot at the right time isn't always good enough. Alas, if you don't got the skill to pay the bills, you'll probably end up in debt. But while aiming simply comes with practice and can be nurtured in an environment that best helps you train your aim, it's the pure combination of knowing the game and nailing the aim. First though, how can I practice my aim? Never fear, lads. Here's a couple of tips I found to be immensely helpful. Look, first, no tip anyone can give you is going to make you get better at sniper immediately, at least nothing you'll notice besides turning off mouse acceleration. But follow these tips, you'll be playing a game a few weeks after and suddenly you'll hit that headshot you never thought you could manage. And it won't happen again for a little while, but then you'll hit it again, and then you'll start doing it consistently and you'll barely notice it happening at all. Anyway, enough talk. The first thing you can benefit from is hand exercises. Seriously, take just 5 minutes before you start playing for the day to give your hands a good shake. Make your hands into a fist, pull your fingers back with the other hand just a little bit. Do this every single time you play. I promise it'll help to a degree. Next, you need the right equipment. Make sure that you have the right sensitivity. If you're playing on a sensitivity that's too high, it won't help you at all. If you can't hit a specific area because your sensitivity is too high, it's just not going to work. If you're already playing on a low sensitivity, good. Get used to it, get that muscle memory built up, but if it's too low, you're buggered also. It's got to be low enough to precision aim, but also to turn around in time for dangers behind you, like sneaky schways.
Surprise!
Lastly, get a good mouse. It doesn't have to be expensive, just a highly rated one, for example like an Aurelie M515 or a Logitech G400. A decent keyboard helps too, obviously, but isn't nearly as mandatory. A good headset lets you listen out for dangers, like a decloaking spy behind you. Finally, let's talk about where to practice your aim. Honestly, there's just no better place to practice than an actual game, and don't be scared. You'll learn more from just seeing how people move in a real, almost competitive environment. You can get the basics down with bots, sure, but you just won't learn as fast. Alright, that's mechanical skill out of the way, on to the last part of this guide. Again, game sense is something you'll learn by playing, but it's also something that you can learn from exterior sources, like the TF2 wiki. For example, most of you know that an uncharged headshot does 150 damage, not counting resistances or other outliers. This is enough to kill the majority of classes. You'll need to practice what charge to be at to kill demo men, soldiers, and heavies. Game sense is just more about your positioning and knowing the aspects of the game. For example, it used to be that a dead ringer spy could survive literally anything. Now, a fully charged Mac in a headshot will kill him every time, not regarding overheal or whether he's using the big earner or kunai. As I said, a lot of variables in this game, so you've got to watch out for them and just use your common sense most of the time. You'll need to become desensitized to spy decloaks. You'll need to know where to be on the map to be at max efficiency. Now, I recommend watching Snow for more specific tips on Sniper, since he's definitely more qualified than me to talk at length. I hope, regardless, that you learned at least something. Oh, and turn off mouse excel if you haven't already. That shit fucks with your aim so hard. The second part of this video is about the competitive meta. As someone who only knows a small amount about the competitive meta, take this with a grain of salt since I may just be playing wrong. In the Sixers game, Sniper is a huge deal. If his team protects him, the only way to really deal with him is the flank, which is often quite hard since the sniper will just shut the flank down immediately because they're so good, or call his team to help out and shut it down for him. A sniper that's with his team is damn near impossible to kill unless the other team runs counter sniper as well. Roma scouts are mostly adept at killing troublesome snipers, and this also goes for pocket soldiers since, well, trying to track a rocket jumping soldier that's pretty good at rocket jumping is probably one of the hardest things to do in Team Fortress 2. But even at top tier levels of play, even this loses its edge to some degree, since while Scout runs fast, the time it takes to get to the sniper will often decay as overheal enough to become vulnerable to one shot. Or he'll be grievously injured enough that pretty much anything can finish him off. Again, a lot of variables exist here, but remember that even good snipers miss, so let's talk theoretically. A sniper who never misses is untouchable unless they get bombed or get out of position while aiming at someone else, which is an effective way to counter. I've heard a lot of people say that Sniper is too strong, and I agree partly since in a casual setting a great sniper will absolutely just destroy everything with no contest. Finally, let's talk about his unlocks. Sniper has a wide degree of unlocks that changes playstyle from a little to completely. I'm going to give a short synopsis on what each weapon is, what it does to the playstyle, and my personal thoughts on it. Stock is great. No downsides, no gimmicks, charge it up.
Boom, dickhead. That's what I call a fucking gamer shot.
And it doesn't have to be a headshot. A charged body shot can also one-shot like classes. On an off note, I haven't covered the body shots, but without going into detail, I honestly don't have an issue with them. Yes, it takes more skill to headshot somebody, but they hit you. Their shot registered. Get over it. A good sniper body shot sometimes, it's just more effective than trying and often missing a headshot. Not everyone is a pro sniper, and some of us are just trying to improve. This thing is great, honestly. It changes up the sniper's playstyle to a medium range denial class, and while it greatly damages your extreme range capability, it provides a much needed versatility and allows you to be much more effective at closer ranges. Just be aware that your arrows can be reflected by skilled or lucky pyros. A more niche weapon, its headshots don't crit but instead apply durati in a radius. It's a very, very effective support tool for an aggressive playstyle, and is also a magnificent pyro counter, since your scope shots both apply durati to enemies and extinguish your teammates. Depending on your charge, it applies durati for between 2 seconds for an uncharged, and 8 for a fully charged body shot. Great if you can't hit headshots consistently and like to support your team, and a vastly underrated weapon in my opinion since its rebalance. Simple enough, encourages body shotting since it does more damage. I don't really have any opinion on this one since it doesn't really change enough to be particularly noteworthy besides destroying your chance for stealth sniping, which isn't great, since you want the enemy team to not be aware of your presence, and having it telegraphed with a tracer isn't helpful. Fantastic for holding down chokes, since focus allows you to stay scoped, which I found enhances my aim dramatically. Also, its headshot kills are brutal. It's also slightly quieter, which is a little more helpful for stealthier sniping, but this gets ruined during focus since you fire tracer rounds while shooting in focus. Body shots do less damage, which forces you to hit headshots, but can be unhelpful for killing targets in heavy cover or scouts. A confusing absolute joke of a weapon. Can't headshot unless fully charged, does less damage on body shot, meaning your ability for killing is horribly diminished. Hey, at least it no-scope headshots. Secondaries. Don't bother with the SMGs. They pale in comparison to the other unlocks for reasons I'll explain shortly, although they are okay for close combat. Jurati is your best friend. Makes a great support tool for extinguishing, counters spies incredibly hard, and allows your team to destroy affected targets. Prevents one backstab from one class's single weapon. I personally don't recommend this if you have ears and are able to hear decloaks well. Plus, spies have guns, which won't save you when your only close range weapon left is a knife. The Cozy Camper is really useful for holding down a choke, since its health regen and knockback reduction increases your survivability. However, you do trade off a lot of offensive capabilities, so you'd best be good at clicking heads. And the dreaded Darwin's Danger Shield. Unsurprisingly, I think this weapon is pretty overpowered. In a nutshell, you can survive an uncharged headshot. The thing is, that would have killed you if you were using anything else. The other sniper hit you first, essentially winning the trade of skill. Meanwhile, you can either headshot them right back or run away with your tail between your legs to come back 3 seconds later for another try. It drastically needs a rebalance. Now, I have a good idea that can take some of the annoyance of this weapon away. Simply destroy the shield after tanking a headshot, and it can't be replenished unless they die or go back to spawn, much like the Razorback. This would take them out of the fight as if you had simply killed them. Either way, in its current state, I think this secondary is far too strong, since it makes a bad sniper a little bit harder to kill so you waste your time with them longer, and a good one incredibly difficult to kill since you can't quickly scope them. Melees! I won't even go into length about these. If you're using Jurati, Bushwhacker. Using anything else, Stock. There's only 2 other weapons, and the ship doesn't deal nearly enough damage in an actual fight to be useful, besides dealing with spies, and the Shahansha's gimmick is incredibly stupid. You need to be low health to be able to 2-shot an enemy with your melee, something Stock and the Bushwhacker can accomplish just fine. There's not a single situation where this is useful. Any situation where you have less than half HP and needing to resort to melee is one where you are almost definitely just going to die. Overall, I think Sniper is a class that has a huge potential to dominate when played well, almost a little too much potential. When played poorly, however, it's almost like they aren't there at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this longer video talking about the Sniper. If you guys want, I can probably do this for all the other classes. I mostly just wanted to talk a bit about what I think about him now that I've given him a good go, so until next time lads, this train is leaving the station.